So the movie has a great blend of action and comedy. Was there any inspirations that went into bringing this combo onto the screen? I know Let's Be Cops had a similar combo, but I
Yeah,
was just curious.
I always wanted to work with Alan, and so
Yeah,
we were supposed to do a movie a few years ago, and as we were developing the script, he was the guy. He was the guy, and you know, people remember Blue Mountain State, but he's Reacher right now. He's this very serious action star, and so I'm really excited for the world to see him as this. He's got impeccable comedic timing. He's a genius. So, and then obviously Kevin's a pro, and to put them together was an unlikely combo.
no, yeah, and yeah, it just seemed like this was just from watching the finished product. It just seemed like it was such a fun pairing, and I can imagine it was just a fun time on set. Like, what were the vibes on set?
Crazy. It was crazy. I mean, no, they're such pros. The supporting cast were such, legends. And so it was just very smooth sailing. I mean, everyone thinks we're this huge budget movie. We're not. Like it's a much smaller budget than most people think. And so we really had to move. It was a very fast-paced shoot. It was very fast-paced everything. But yeah, I mean, from the action, the comedy, working with these kids that were so great. I mean, it was a blast. It was a blast.
That's awesome. So there are some incredible stunts throughout, some really fun stunts from Richard, like knocking people out to CJ's like kung fu moves. Can you talk about the stunt team? Like was that like was that all in the script going into the film, or was it kind of like you planned it out as you went along?
I plan a lot of things out. I'm a writer as well. I didn't write this, but I've written most of my movies, if not all of them. Um, so most things are in my head, especially to the music. A lot of this action is to very specific songs that I had picked because I like utilizing songs way before we start shooting. But the stunt team's amazing in Vancouver, and Alan is impeccable at action, and his team is incredible. And so yeah, I mean a lot of it I knew in my head, but what I love is like new ideas on set, and so there were a lot of inspirational things just in regards to when Alan is in a huge fist fight and all the teenagers in furry costumes are getting their asses kicked. There was a lot of audibles and a lot of things that we were like, let's try this, which is great. I mean, that's why we're there.
Yeah, and one of the things I had to bring up were there was numerous needle drops throughout the film, and one of my favorites was the Rhythm of the Night, where it was just crashing through everything. And I mean, and it's just it's such a high praise of Alan and his, as you said, his comedic abilities and timing here. Because I mean, it's just it's just funny. It's like, are you trying to hit everything? No.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah, exactly. I mean, if I have to hear that song one more time, I'm gonna die. But that was one of my early song picks. Is I pictured this Born Identity, Paul Greengrass, insane car chase, but let's
yeah.
put it in the most inappropriate place, suburbia, where people could die, innocent people. And instead of using tense action music, why not use Rhythm of the Night? And have Alan sing to it as he's almost killing people.
It's just so great. And there's just such a great chemistry and connection between James and Richardson on screen. I like, is that something you can like coach, or was that just natural? Like, how
I,
was that?
you can never coach it. It's a great question. I mean, in all my movies, either they match or they don't. And it was a perfect match. I mean, I've had really good luck in my films of bringing in duos or ensembles, um, and just let them go. Especially super professionals who are seasoned. You know, I think they can blend with anyone, but they had a perfect match.
And I can imagine one of my favorites as well. It's the one I've went back to multiple times is Let's Be Cops. It's
Thank
just
you.
Jake Johnson and their just connection is. And I'm curious. I imagine in that film there was a lot of improv. Was there a good number of improv in this film, or was it more strict to the script?
There's a lot more improv here than in Let's Be Cops, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
really?
Yeah, Let's Be Cops is based on my true story. Like I impersonated a cop, I got arrested. I had to do community service, which spawned my idea for role models. But yeah, I mean, we always do a mix of, I really work very hard on the dialogue before we shoot. Again, I didn't write this. This is Neil Goldman, who's an incredible writer, and we had developed this script together. But yeah, I mean, these guys are naturals, and so it's very important that they go off and do their own thing. And also for authenticity is I want actors to make their characters as personal to me as it is to them. So that needs a little more of them bringing their own experience to the character.
That's great. And your approach when it came to digital versus practical effects here, there's a lot of stuff here that looks and feels very visceral. And there's, an occasional clone army. How did you handle the mixture of the two?
Great question. I mean, we're on a limited budget, so a lot of this stuff is practical. A lot of this stuff, it's interesting. We use a lot of visual effects for the small things. People are going to see this football scene where they're whipping a football 150 miles an hour. There's no football there, obviously, so they are
Yeah,
miming that, and we're putting a football in. But yeah, all the car stuff is all practical. I mean, all those stunts are practical. We put people on cables, and when Alan hits a guy at 90 miles an hour with a car, that guy is being tugged by a cable. The poor
that's
guy.
awesome. That's awesome. I mean, more practical in film is always for the better, and I mean, it looks incredible. Um, so there's so
Thank
much
you.
silliness here, and it's just a wonder of how you can keep these actors focused on set. I was just wondering, like, how fun was it, or I guess not fun, but how tough was it to keep them from breaking during these scenes? Because we see in the blooper reel that they do
Yeah,
break quite a bit.
yeah. I mean, I break takes a lot. I like to direct the actors very close to camera. I'm not a guy that's far back hiding in Video Village. So, there's so many things where I'm laughing and destroying the sound of takes. Um, I think the actors hear me, which obviously inspires them because they know things are really working. But yeah, I mean the kids uh, who are great actors, they broke a lot. It is tough. It is tough. There's a lot of biting my knuckles so I don't make a damn sound. Yeah.
Was there a lot more that was not included in that blooper reel?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. There's a scene in the movie where Paul Walter Hauser asks Alan and Kevin who their favorite Mormon is.
Mhm.
And they were kept coming up with Machine Gun Kelly and all these things. And especially when Alan comes up with Jay-Z and they turn, they just stare at each other. There's so many takes of them just breaking, breaking, breaking. To the point where you're like, come on, guys,
We gotta get through
we've
this.
got to get this.
I mean, it's just always when you see a blooper reel in the film, it just, automatically like brings a smile to your face,
Yeah,
because it's just like you can tell, the
absolutely,
people on set were having fun. Um,
absolutely.
so there's after the blooper reel, no spoiler, but there is room for a possible sequel. Is there already kind of like rumblings about that, or is it just see how this
Yeah,
plays out?
absolutely. I mean, with Amazon, any movie studio will look at this as franchise. Let's do a bunch of them. Here's Lethal Weapon. Here's, you know, horrible bosses. And so yes, we're already thinking about storylines, and you know, there better be a reason for a sequel in my mind because sequels are so important as far as they should have never done a sequel, or thank God they did a sequel. Godfather, Lethal Weapon, Bad Boys 2 was incredible to me.
Yeah.
So it better be worth it as far as for an audience to love it. So we really got to find the best storyline and make it unique and make it cool and make it, even better than the original.
Yeah, and I have full faith that you all can definitely deliver that. So I'm hoping,
Thank you.
and similar to it's just one of the automatic connections I made while I was watching the film is Alan's performance reminded me of Channing Tatum's like kind of like stupidity and just like so much fun that from the 21, 22 Jump Streets. And
Yes.
that's kind of like when you jump from one that is so fantastic and you move into the next, that's how you do a sequel. So yeah, I'm very
That's a
much hoping.
That's a great analogy, though. I'm the biggest fan of Channing Tatum there is, and I am so blown away by him in the 21, 22 Jump Street movies. I think he is so incredible, so incredible.
Yes.
And then you see him in Foxcatcher, this super dramatic. I mean, I would love to work with Channing. He is just a champion to me.
Yeah, he's wildly entertaining.
Yeah.
And I will end it with this because I have to just kind of bring it up again. The Girl Next Door. I love the Girl Next Door little cameo with the video in the back seat.
Yeah.
And and as I mentioned, it is one of the first R-rated movies I watched growing up with my brother. So
Wow.
it's a strong connection with me and him. And I was just wondering, I know the film did not perform super well at the box office at
Yeah.
the time, but it's grown quite a cult following. Was there ever rumblings about doing like a sequel all these years out or no?
First of all, thank you, because Girl Next Door will always be the love of my life. It was such a precious film to me. I was very young when I made it. Um, there's talk about it every single day. I mean, I'm not really a social media guy, but when I check, every day is always, is there a sequel that they pitch ideas? I'm so glad it really hit home for you. And yeah, everyone, even to this day, everyone thinks it was a massive, massive box office hit, but it was not. We couldn't get the marketing right
Yeah,
because it's not American Pie. It's a much different film, and so it bombed. It broke my heart, and then all of a sudden, I think we were one of the top highest selling DVDs for 20th Century Fox ever. I think it was
that's
us and Fight
fantastic.
Club and Office Space,
I mean, that's
besides
good.
Titanic, of course.
Well, I mean, Office Space and Fight Club are a good combo to be paired up with.
Incredible, incredible. Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
mean, it's
you.
awesome to get to talk to you, and yeah, hopefully we can talk again on the next film.
I would love to, man. Thank you so much for doing this.